More of this continues to unravel, it rises to the level of impeachment inquiry. What that simply provides is that the American public has a right to know.
Well, Joe Biden is now facing impeachment calls after being wrapped up in a scandal surrounding whether or not he was involved in a criminal bribery scheme as the VP. So much has unravelled in the last week or so in regards to the FBI's FD 1023 form that alleges Joe Biden could have pocketed money from a Ukrainian executive from Burisma Holdings in exchange to take care of certain things. Burisma Holdings is the Ukrainian gas company that Hunter Biden was paid millions of dollars from 2014 to 2019 as a board member. New York Post columnist Miranda Devine reported Sunday that one of Hunter Biden's former business partners, Devon Archer, who also was on the board of Burisma, will testify before the House Oversight Committee. He is set to explain that Joe Biden was involved in his son's overseas business deals, which is a direct contradiction to the president's narrative that he has never spoken to Hunter about his foreign business. Devon Archer will allege that Hunter Biden phoned his father at least 24 times while in the company of foreign businessmen while he served as the vice president. This comes after the fact the FD 1023 form was released to the public last week, which according to the FBI's highly credible informant, the co-founder of Burisma Holdings claimed to have been coerced by the Bidens. He said he had to pay the Bidens $5 million each to take care of certain things, which included Ukrainian prosecutor Victor Shokin, who was in the midst of investigating the company for corruption. The conversations between the informant and Mykola Zlochevsky detailed that Burisma Holdings wanted to crack into the US oil and gas market, and with a looming criminal investigation hanging over their heads, it could be hard to obtain an IPO in the country. So one of these things the Bidens allegedly took care of was Victor Shokin, whose investigation could have been hindering the company goals. The human source confirmed in the document that in June 2020, Mr. Zlochevsky said he had kept 17 audio recordings and 2 bank statements as evidence that he was coerced by the Bidens to pay them to ensure that Victor Shokin was fired. He was fired by the Ukrainian government in late March 2016 after VP Joe Biden threatened to withhold $1 billion in aid. Biden then went on to publicly brag about his strong arming skills. The White House continues to deny that the president has had any involvement in his son's overseas business deals. These new allegations and the Biden administration's continued denials prompted House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to suggest it might be time for an impeachment. An impeachment of a president means the House could bring formal charges for misconduct, which could result in a Senate trial. Although no president has been convicted before, Presidents Andrew Johnson, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump have all been impeached. Speaker McCarthy said none of these revelations or allegations about the Biden family would have come to light had the Republican Party not won back control of the House at the midterm elections last November. Because we remember before those elections, GOP members vowed to hold several congressional hearings into issues they think have arisen out of the Biden administration. One of those was the Biden family business deals and whether or not Joe Biden has been implicated in foreign deals that could have compromised national security and American interests.
This is rising to the level of impeachment inquiry, which provides Congress the strongest power to get the rest of the knowledge and information needed. Because this president has also used something we have not seen since Richard Nixon, used the weaponization of government to benefit his family and deny Congress the ability to have the oversight.
Joe Biden smirked today when a reporter tried to gauge his thoughts on a potential impeachment.
Mr. President, McCarthy says he may try an impeachment inquiry to get to the bottom of McCarthy.
So could impeachment really happen? Is the president really hiding something from the American people like James Comer says he is? Yesterday, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee released a statement saying Joe Biden lied when he said he knew nothing about his son's business dealings. He wrote, "Evidence continues to be revealed that Joe Biden was very much involved in his family's corrupt influence peddling schemes, and he likely benefited financially." So how does the country get to the bottom of this? A recent article from The Federalist says that an impeachment might be the only way after everything that has happened with the FBI document and the fact that 2 IRS whistleblowers testified last week that their investigation into Hunter Biden's taxes was interfered with, that they were blocked from pursuing felony charges, that they weren't allowed to review all the available evidence, and that the entire thing was stymied and always benefited Hunter. The Federalist report reads, "There is only one option left that can deliver truth and transparency to the American public, and that is an impeachment inquiry that investigates not just President Joe Biden, but Attorney General Merrick Garland, US Attorney David Weiss, and FBI Director Christopher Wray." But following last week's revelations and more explosive details revealed over the last few days, the evidence now is just too weighty to stay on the current investigative path. Evidence is spattering out from different House committees and the offices of various members of Congress, while the DOJ and FBI withhold evidence and issue vague and misleading statements.